Michelle here, and in this video I'm going to be drawing some horror movie bad guys as good guys. In this video we are specifically focusing on Freddy Krueger from A Nightmare on Elm Street. Now when you think Freddy Krueger, you think fire and sleep. So I thought I would take both of those things and see if I can make it positive. And if I can't, then I'm just drawing Freddy Krueger, so. Because Halloween is happening! Or at least sometime it's coming. So my two ideas were making him a firefighter and then also making him Sleeping Beauty, which, because sleep, like, what if he was the one trapped in sleep for eternity with his own dream demon? So for this first one I decided I was going to draw him in my usual cartoony style, with big eyes and big hands and feet and like all the skinny limbs. For some reason, I don't know why my style ended up being as thin as it is, but it is, so it's weird, I don't know why. So I used the generic standing pose that I usually put people in because I was like, it's the first time I'm drawing him, so you kind of want to see what he looks like from a natural standing pose at the 3/4 angle, so you can see what he looks like in all of his Freddiness. What you're seeing on the face is not the final thing, I promise you. It looks weird right now, it's okay, I'm just gonna stretch it and it fixes it, it's fine, it's fine. The thing about sketching is it's not supposed to look good in the beginning, it's supposed to look stupid. It's supposed to look stupid and rough, and then you refine it little by little until it doesn't look stupid anymore. Unless I don't know what I'm drawing, then it just continues to be stupid. But since I'm drawing him in my usual style, I feel like that's not a problem, because it's the same body over and over again. It's, you know. The challenge, though, was his face, getting his face and the hat. I wanted to get that nose, the Freddy nose, that nose everybody knows about, the nose that they completely did away with in the 2010 remake. It was like, why, that's like the most defining feature aside from like the burned up face and the sweater and the hat and the fingers. Anyway, it's the most defining facial feature, okay? You can't do Freddy Krueger without the nose. Give him back his nose. So I made a nose. And I think I did pretty okay. I think I got it. I think I got something. And the thing with the hat, when it was funny, I was trying to do the hat and then I was like, why am I having so much trouble with this hat? It's a fedora, basically. I mean, maybe it's not perfectly a fedora. It's close enough to a fedora. It might actually be a fedora. I don't know. But it reminded me of Perry the Platypus, which I used to draw all the time. I know how to draw Perry the Platypus pretty well from memory, so I just did the Perry the Platypus hat, and I think it's probably a little too simplified, but it worked, so I'm good. Another challenging part was also like the burn marks on his face, because it's usually simplified as like little crevices, like little craters in his face, but I didn't really know how to do that simplified, so I just did a bunch of circles. I feel like there's like a structure to it, like they follow the shape of his face or something, because isn't it supposed to be like the muscle underneath the facial tissue? But it's not. But isn't it supposed to be? But it's not. So it doesn't actually follow any of the anatomy. So I just kind of had to make it up. So hopefully that looks okay. So in case you haven't noticed, I'm drawing him as a firefighter, or I'm trying to. I didn't want to give him the firefighter garb, but I was like, you know, if his thing is fire, so what if he was saving people from fires? So I gave him a hose and he's still all like and angry and stuff because he's like attacking the fire. You don't attack fires like this, but he's doing the fire. So it'd be like angry at the fire, right? Or I just wanted to draw him really angry too. It's just half of this is an excuse for me to draw Freddy Krueger, okay? Just deal with it. But I gave him a hose. No water's coming out of it, but he's got a hose. So we can kind of be fighting fire without. Okay, I know, I just wanted to draw Freddy Krueger, okay? But at the very end, I gave him some nice glowy lighting to signify that there was like a fire in front of him, and then I stopped here, and I was like, this is good, this is my firefighter Freddy. And then my husband looked at it and he's like, that doesn't say firefighter to me. Shouldn't there be a fire? And I was like, yes, there probably should be a fire, yes, So I made the house. So I got some picture references from the actual house in the Nightmare on Elm Street movie. I think it's the same house through most of the movies anyway. I know the second one is the same house. I haven't finished them all yet. We're up to the third one. But I thought it would be cool if he was either setting fire to the house or like helping the house not burst into flames. any more than it already is. So I mean, it's up for interpretation whether he looks pretty evil. He looks like he just set the fire and he's holding a hose going, you can't do anything with the hose because I have it. So you interpret it the way you want to, I guess. But I drew a simplified version of the house, Nancy's house, and I wanted to get it from a nice angle so that you could see all of the stuff, the multiple windows. It's got a specific pattern of windows, and then it's got like this arch thing in front of the door, but I didn't do that. I didn't do the arch thing because it was a lot of detail and I was already, I don't know if you've noticed, but this video is kind of late. So I just didn't do that extra, however many minutes it would have taken. It would have taken it would have taken enough time that I just didn't want to do it. You can tell it's the house. Probably would have been more interesting, but you can tell it's the house. Okay, close enough. Now I do want to mention one thing for anybody who's struggling with things like this, because I don't normally draw buildings, but when I draw the buildings, it's normally like a fraction of the building, like this one or this one, and usually it's the windows that give the most detail to the piece. Otherwise it'd just be like a big rectangle. So I make sure to put windows in there, but also if there's any parts of the windows that have any detail, like the sides of the edge and like where the seams meet, I always make sure to put those lines like in the corners here, or lines signifying that it is made of wood, kind of like these squiggly lines that you see all over the windows here. Inside of the windows, I do these other kind of twisty, wiggly lines because it kind of signifies the shimmer of glass. And then for the rest of the house, if there's paneling, I'll draw straight lines either neater than this that are actually connecting, or just hints of it that are kind of sloppy like this, because it gives it a kind of like rustic sort of texture if it's not completely uniform. And also when things are super uniform, like this house is, filled with a bunch of straight lines, it looks really traced, which it's not. But it looks like a clip art thing. Like, it doesn't look fun, it just looks stiff. So I add all those detail lines and imperfections to kind of make it look more lively and less stiff and just more better, I guess. Then after that, I added the fire. Now for the fire, the outline and the actual solid color both have inner glows and outer glows mixed with like white and yellows and oranges, and that's how I got the fiery look, in case any of you were wondering. Then I just added some rim lighting to some foliage and some nice fence over on the edge, because I wanted something in the background to reflect the light to show that it was bright. So I added the bushes, the trees, and the fence, and I think that just about did it. So with Freddy added in, this is what it looks like. It is weird because the way he's angled, it doesn't look like he's necessarily really in that piece. It's the best that I could do with what I had, because I wasn't even planning on putting him in a background in the first place, but I was like, it's not good enough. He looks boring, you can't tell he's a firefighter, and even if he was a firefighter or not, it's like there's no fire, so what the heck, why? There at least has to be a fire, so I made a fire. So hopefully now this makes a little more sense, and you can decide whether he's an actual firefighter or not. The second idea was actually pretty quick, and I wanted to do him as Sleeping Beauty like I mentioned before, but I wanted to recreate a screenshot, not just do it the way that I would normally do it, which I feel like I'm gonna do eventually. Draw him as like in a coffin, like a glass coffin or something, like Snow White, which I think would be really cute. But for this one, I just decided to recreate this screenshot, because I feel like this is like that iconic sort of like face shot of Aurora when she's sleeping. I almost used this one, but I just decided to do this one anyway, because when things are larger and they're closer up, you can get more detail in them, so I wanted to try and get more detail because I just wanted to test myself and see what I could do, so I did it. At first I tried to give these crevices and burns on his face some like painterly styles. I used Jazz's blending brush to blend some of the color around to make it look a little more painterly, a little more realistic. But then I decided I didn't really care. It was taking too long and it's not really my style, and by the time I had finished it I didn't really like it. So what I did instead is I filled all of the crevices. Then I took that, selected it, and then expanded it so that there was an area around that color. And then on a new layer, I filled that in a different color that was darker. Then I selected the original selection again and shrunk it, and then made that a new layer and filled that in so that it was smaller. Then I blurred all three of those, so then it looked like a nice soft gradient from light to medium to dark. And that's a cheat that I use sometimes when I don't really want to paint things by hand, but I still kind of want it to be smooth. I just do that. Because let's face it, I do cartoons. I'm not a super painterly, I'm not gonna do digital paintings or anything realistic or anything. I probably could if I wanted to. I could learn to do it, but it's just not my preferred style. I just really love cartoons, as you guys probably know by now. So that's what I gravitate to, and I tried to make that apparent for both of them, but for the screenshot one I wanted it to be a more detailed version, and I also wanted it to look like the screenshot in the sense that the colors were very similar and it looked like it could have been a screenshot from that. So this is what that ended up looking like. And then let's go back to the cartoony one. Cartooniness? Less cartoony detail. I don't know, you tell me which one you like better. And if you have any other suggestions, any other bad guys from any horror movies that you want to see me do something fun with, or maybe turn them nice or turn them goofy, let me know in the comments below and I might just use your suggestion because I don't have ideas, only sometimes. But the bad guys that I have planned for the next few videos are going to be Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th, Michael Myers from Halloween, and Ghostface from Scream, because Scream is my favorite and I just love horror movies. I do not do ghost hauntings or demon possession type horror movies because those are just way too real for me. Like, I've seen some things. So stick around for those if you like this one. Hopefully they'll get a little more creative. Again, let me know which one of these you like the best. And if you have any suggestions for future videos like this, let me know in the comments and I might choose yours. Also, here's my patrons. They help support this channel. If you want to be one of these people, I have a link to my Patreon down in the description below. But I also have other ways you can support the channel through commissions by me or merch sales through my Redbubble shop, which I do not get a big percentage of at all, but I can't make my own stuff right now, so it's there. But if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up so that I know you did. And if you're wondering what I'm doing in between videos, you can follow me on Twitter, that is where I'm the most active, but I have a list of all the social media down in the description below. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye! I do have planned Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th, Michael Myers from Halloween, and Ghostface from Scream, But for the next videos, I do have planned Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th, Michael Myers from Halloween, and Ghostface from Scream, because there's a